And if you think of a career sometimes, you're kind of sometimes the voice behind the voice. Sometimes you don't want to say too much because the boss might not like you and give you the promotion. You're taught to be quiet and get the work done. As an entrepreneur, someone doing their own thing on the side, you want to be out there. You gotta make the moves. You gotta take uncomfortable action. You gotta persuade people. You gotta sell. You gotta do all these things. And I've been spending a lot of time thinking, somebody could do great in a career and then think when they start being an entrepreneur, it feels weird. Congratulations, it does. Because now it's time to be you, not the version of you that your company wants. So this was a long answer to a short question. The question was, should you do a side hustle? Should you start your own business? And the answer is yes, if you desire more. Also, know that you might feel a little uncomfortable. You might say, oh, this doesn't work, and it's easier just to get a check. But is it easier just to get a check when you're not living into your full potential? When you're not living into the man or the woman you're supposed to be? So, and I think where the greatness can lie is a side hustle or starting a business on the side can lead to the thing that you're destined to do. Right? And if you never try it, then if you have two jobs rather than a side thing that could be your own thing, you don't get to lean into you.
I want to remind you of something as I begin today, that you are born to do something great with your life, that you are special, that you're chosen regardless of where you come from, regardless of what you've been carrying from you. But every day some of us are killing ourselves with the shame we're carrying from something you've done, humiliation. We put this gun into our head every day telling us we're not enough, smart enough, favorite enough, that we're dumb, carrying this gun on our head, shame us to take our confidence from us. We're doing this over and over and there is a better way forward. You can quit this thing down in our life. You can decide today that you're born to do something great. You can decide today intentionally to set this weapon down, whatever it is, something that you're not proud of that you've done. Stop using this as a weapon against yourself and realize that happened for you and not to you. You can just have kind of limited belief about why you can do something right now. This all be a story you keep telling yourself. How about you just decide it's a lie?
Life can be hard when you let your emotions determine your actions. If you spin it around and let your actions determine your emotions, you can really solve a lot of problems. And in most cases, it can be uncomfortable, but that's usually where our juice, our next level lives, on the other side of that uncomfortable thing. But don't get addicted to the way you feel. Don't get addicted to the learning. Get addicted to the uncomfortable action. And we said, well, this is uncomfortable. Like, no crap.
Yeah.
It's all uncomfortable.
Right.
But on the other side of uncomfortable is a next level of life. Like, living the hard way today creates the easy way tomorrow. You hustle, you put the time in, but look what you're able to build on the opposite side. It's easy to sit on the couch, complain on others, and not complain about other people and the president and life, but it's really hard in 20 years from now when you don't have a nest egg, you didn't create any wealth, you didn't create financial freedom. So, when do you want to put the time in, now or then? If you're completely content with where you are, I would bet to say you wouldn't be listening to this, right? You'd be listening to something else. So if you're listening to this, you have a desire for more. And here's the fact of the matter. I don't want to be overly pragmatic, but the fact of the matter is if you want more, you have to do more. And it doesn't just mean hustling. Like, hard work is great. You need the hustle, but hustle in the right direction. So I'll break this up into two pieces. If you want more, you got to do more. And in today's world, I don't know if a career is promised to anyone. Things change in a moment. AI could wipe out some industries, and it's going to,
create new
people think, right, it's going to create new ones. People think, oh, it's going to wipe out everything. They thought that was the internet. They thought computers.
Yes.
There's always shifts. This means other industries are going to grow, and some are going to shrink. And if you think of a career sometimes, you're kind of sometimes the voice behind the voice. Sometimes you don't want to say too much because the boss might not like you and give you the promotion. You're taught to be quiet and get the work done. As an entrepreneur or someone doing their own thing on the side, you want to be out there. You got to make the moves. You got to take uncomfortable action. You got to persuade people. You got to sell. You got to do all these things. And I've been spending a lot of time thinking, somebody could do great in a career and then think when they start being an entrepreneur, it feels weird. Congratulations, it does. Because now it's time to be you, not the version of you that your company wants. So this was a long answer to a short question. The question was, should you do a side hustle? Should you start your own business? And the answer is yes, if you desire more. Also, know that you might feel a little uncomfortable. You might say, oh, this doesn't work, and it's easier just to get a check. But is it easier just to get a check when you're not living into your full potential? When you're not living into the man or the woman you're supposed to be? So, and I think where the greatness can lie is a side hustle or starting a business on the side can lead to the thing that you're destined to do. Right? And if you never try it, then if you have two jobs rather than a side thing that could be your own thing, you don't get to lean into you. But I believe that with the right mindset, the right work ethic, the right focus, you could be successful in any area.
Wow.
Even if you feel it's overly saturated. There's people in every industry.
For sure.
There's hardly anybody inventing anything new. So remember that. We have this flawed perception that we have to create something no one's ever done before.
Right.
No one does. We just make things better than they used to be.
Yep.
Right? So that's number one. Number two, if you're going to put the time, dedication, and effort into this, it might as well be something that aligns with something you like. Like, I'm at a phase of my life where I work more than I've ever worked. I know you do too,
Yep.
but I love what I do.
I love it.
I spend time with my wife, my children, and I work. I literally don't do anything else, but I don't feel like I work
I'm
at
not
all.
missing anything. Yeah.
Right?
I enjoy it.
So my whole point is when you talk about, I always say, investigate. Be an investigative reporter.
Yep.
Lean into the things that align with who you are and who you'd like to be, and stop thinking just the money, because I believe you can make the money in anything. I mean, listen, we're all going to be biased. If you talk to somebody in real estate, they're going to say you should look into real estate, right? We're all going to be biased. I just spent the last 5 years, Tony Robbins and I, helping people get into the self-education, selling what you know.
Yep.
A course, a coach, a program, right? A workshop, a mastermind, right? Masterminds have changed my life.
Yep.
What you do changed my life, right? So I could be biased and say you should think about selling what you know, but what if I was really doing you a service? You should be doing something that aligns with who you are, what you like, or what you do, because if you're going to spend that much time on it, find something you like. And I agree. I would read books. I would look under the hood. I would find people who've already done it, listen to lots of podcasts.
Yep.
Find something that sparks. The hardest thing to learn in life is on your own, through trial and error. The fastest way is to find somebody who's already been there. If I want to do, I hit you up sometimes and say, hey, this is your swimming lane.
Right.
Help me out. And I'm here for you for the same thing. I don't want to try to figure it out if someone's already done it, because the fastest way to get where you want to go is just find somebody who's already done it.
Right.
When you say do a side hustle, if you've spent 10 years being an accountant, there's somebody on day one saying, how the hell do I do it? Find somebody who's already been there and learn from them. Find someone that aligns with your core values first, right? Listen, this is in no way disrespect. There's people online that are doing amazing, and they show their jets and their Lamborghinis, and if that's their jam, and that feels good to you, don't be embarrassed about that. If you want the fancy watch and you want to do that, that person might speak right to you. Dig in and just make sure that they've walked the walk and talked the talk. That's the only thing I'd say, right? There's a lot of people doing that actually made it, and with real businesses, and they're doing amazing. And there's other people that, rent the Ferrari on a weekend and borrow someone else's watch. So I would just say, find someone that aligns with your values. And there's other people that are more quiet and more subtle, and they're very more intellectual or more pragmatic, or more, some are more, visual, some like to write. I would literally find someone that aligns with your values and they have the outcome that you want, right? If you're someone who relationships is important, even if you're learning about money, you gotta find someone, because in today's world you can find somebody that aligns with how you feel about relationships, about business, about money, about philanthropy. Find someone that aligns, go deep, and then I know even if you don't, you might say I don't have the money right now. Do not discount the ability to cut a check for speed, to realize you're not crazy. Sometimes when you're the dreamer, if you're listening to this podcast, you're the outball, you're the black sheep, you're the one that is looking, shooting for the stars to maybe your family, your friends. In fact, the person maybe you sleep next to every night, right? Maybe you think too big, you have too big thoughts, and sometimes without realizing, you're dimming your glow to match the people around you. And then you get in a group where people inspire you and you realize you're not alone, and other people dream, and some people dream and actually achieve it, and you can learn on how they achieved it, and all of a sudden you feel a part of the collective, you feel a part of something bigger than yourself, and you realize you're not alone. It's easy to be the naysayer. It's easy to fall in and dim your glow, like I said earlier, to the people around you. Get into groups, masterminds, workshops, live events. You're sitting next to people, you go to lunch with people that may inspire you, really just to inspire you to be the best version of yourself.
Time is more valuable than capital. Time you set aside not to be eaten, not to be wasted, not to be given away. Time you set aside to be invested in an enterprise that brings value to the marketplace with a hope of making a profit. Now we have capital money and we also have capital time. How valuable it is time? Time properly invested is worth a fortune. Time wasted is worth devastation. But it is worth a fortune if you invest it properly.
So here's what I'd say. We all need leverage in life, right? Leverage pushes us forth, right? I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit smoking. You have emphysema. I quit smoking that day. That's leverage, right? I would say go get this financial calculator that Dan just shared. Start doing some research and understand that some people say, I missed the last 10 years. Yeah, but what's the best time to plant a tree? A decade ago. Second best time today.
Yeah.
Plant the tree today. So what I'd say is get some motivation, get some leverage. So it's $50, $500, 5,000, 50,000, whatever the number is. I would start by understanding what that could mean for you and your life and the safety of a future that is unknown, right? Then secondly, I would start looking at the things that align with you. But I would find the thing that first, that motivates you to do it, and then find the thing that excites you or you already use, so you could start living into the things you already do. I think where people get scared sometimes is when they just give money to a financial advisor and say, okay, put it someplace. They don't know where the money went. They're hoping they're getting interest rate. They don't know what their fees are. And I'm not saying that that's off, especially if you're a financial advisor. That always just scared me even in my 20s when I was naive. I'm like, I'll just go buy real estate. I don't want to give it to somebody I don't know. So just do a little homework so you understand. The only thing I'd say is you got to know enough so you're not dangerous. I believe some of my companies have done so well because when I started with no money, I had to work each department. So I still know all the departments of my companies because I had to work them all. I think you should know enough that you could call bullshit, for lack of a better word, and simultaneously find the right person to invest smartly. So I'd say do enough research to understand to not be dangerous. Find the right people in your life who protect you, and just know that delayed gratification is the greatest thing on earth. You could take that money today and be able to live amazing for the rest of your life, or you could have a blast for 5 years and then struggle. I really believe it takes a lot of determination. You got to find the gift in getting your teeth kicked in. You got to find the gift in failure. You got to find the gift of people talking behind your back. You have to find the gift in your body with everything telling you shouldn't, and you still do it anyway. You have to find an unbreakable mindset to keep moving forward. Doesn't mean that you have to be the smartest person in the world.
Knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect. Family, friends, and yourself, that's all you need to care about. Everyone else is just a temporary, right? So shout out to everyone who is working hard to move ahead in life, because sometimes the hardest battle you will have is against yourself. Success always comes down to one thing: how bad do you want it? Because in life there are hidden blessings in every struggle. So I want you to start to be somebody who is very difficult to replace.
And that takes another level of mindset and determination and focus. And you might think, I wasn't born with that. Well, none of us were. We have to work on it. We have to find the thing that deep inside of us inspires us, that moves us forward, that when everything says no, you still jump out of the plane and hope you grow, the parachute opens on the way down. Some people are destined, and thank God for them, that they go to a soup kitchen and serve. Thank God for those people. Yeah. He said, some of us get to walk in and hand them $100,000 to pay for the soup. Mm-hmm. He said, if you're the type that can hand the $100,000, then you better go out and make it, then you can give it all away.